Gaslighting. If you've ever made someone apologize for something you did, you're not toxic. You're just good at manipulation. Gaslighting is the manipulation cheat code with no cooldown. It doesn't just bend the truth, it installs a virus in someone's brain that makes them doubt themselves. You don't have to win the argument, you just convince them there was never an argument to begin with. And the wildest part? It works. Because most people have trust issues and low self-esteem. All it takes is confidence and a calm voice. And suddenly their memory feels like the unreliable narrator. Politicians do it. Salespeople do it. Your ex did it before brunch. And let's be honest, so have you. This isn't a morality lesson. It's a tactics guide. If you're still playing life on default settings, you're gonna get emotionally speedrun by people using this stuff daily. The silence exploit. Sometimes the most powerful move in a debate is no move at all. Silence isn't just awkward filler, it's a weapon. When used right, it can short-circuit your opponent's confidence, force them to over-explain, and even make them start doubting themselves. This is the silence exploit, a real-life cheat code used by top negotiators, interrogators, and manipulative masterminds. Why does it work? Because silence creates psychological discomfort. Humans are hardwired to fill gaps in conversation. It feels like a social vacuum, and in that vacuum, people start spilling details, softening their stance, or flat out backpedaling, all to break the tension. By saying nothing, you're applying pressure. Picture a courtroom. A lawyer pauses, looks straight at the witness. No follow-up question, just silence. The witness squirms, fumbles, then volunteers more than they were asked. Classic silence trap. You don't need to be in a courtroom to use it. Try pausing after someone criticizes you. Say nothing. They'll usually backtrack. Or when negotiating, ask your price, then shut up. Don't justify. Don't explain. Let the silence do the talking. A well-placed pause can win you more than words ever could. NPC Dialogue. Most people? They're NPCs, running on scripts, preloaded with default responses, predictable patterns, and hard-coded emotions. Not because they're dumb, but because they're automated. The average person goes through conversations on autopilot, agreeing out of habit, laughing on cue, repeating social rules without questioning them. And you can redirect these pre-programmed paths just by changing your inputs. Nod at the right moment. Mimic their energy. Echo their last phrase. And suddenly they trust you. They don't know why. It just feels right. They think they're in control, but you're the one holding the controller. Adjust your tone, change your posture, reframe the story. You're not just participating in the scene, you're modding it. Because once you see the scripts, you don't play the game, you write it. The Ziegarnik Effect. Humans hate loose ends. Leave a task unfinished, and it clings to your brain like a background process you can't kill. That's the Ziegarnik Effect. A psychological exploit where incomplete actions take up more mental space than completed ones. It's not a bug, it's a feature you can weaponize. Want someone to stay hooked? Don't give them the full story. Drop a hint, create a gap, start a sentence, then leave it hanging. Their brain will race to close the loop. Cliffhangers don't just work in Netflix scripts, they work in real life too. In conversations, this means you can build curiosity by leaving just enough unsaid. There's actually a reason I never trust first impressions. But that's a long story. Boom. Curiosity spike. You're in their head now. Salespeople use this constantly. Ever notice how they say, limited stock available without confirming how many? It's a psychological breadcrumb. Your mind wants closure, so you act faster just to resolve the tension. You don't need to manipulate, just create friction. Incomplete loops force mental replays. Make someone curious enough, and they'll finish the thought themselves. The Trojan Question. The most persuasive words aren't the ones you say. They're the ones they say. This is the Trojan Question, a psychological sneak attack that gets people to argue your point for you. No confrontation, no resistance. Just one simple trick. Ask the right question. Most people defend their own ideas with way more energy than they'd ever give to yours. So instead of pushing your belief, you frame a question that leads them to it, like planting a thought seed and letting them water it themselves. Let's say your coworker resists a new idea. You could argue, or you could ask, do you think this might save time in the long run? That's a Trojan question. It slips past their defenses and gets them building the case in their own head. It works because people hate cognitive dissonance. Once they start saying something out loud, they feel pressure to stay consistent with it, even if it wasn't their idea to begin with. The power move: never argue. Just question strategically. Use "how would that work?" or "what would need to change?" and let their brain do the heavy lifting. They'll leave thinking it was their idea all along. That's the win. Time scarcity tactic. Ever notice how you suddenly want something more the second it's about to disappear? That's time scarcity, a psychological power-up that tricks the brain into prioritizing action. Marketers, manipulators, and master persuaders use it like a pressure spell. Only 2 left. Offer ends at midnight. It's not urgency, it's manufactured panic. The trick works because we hate missing out. It triggers the act now or regret later response. When you slap a timer on anything, a sale, a plan, even a text reply, it hijacks decision-making. Logic shuts down, impulse takes over. But here's the real exploit. You don't need actual scarcity, just perceived scarcity. I'm free for coffee on Thursday, but after that, I won't be able to meet for weeks. Suddenly, Thursday feels like gold. People lean in when they sense the clock ticking. It's not deception, it's framing. Deadlines sharpen focus. They force people to make decisions now, not someday. And in a world of endless options, someday is where decisions go to die. The halo effect. The human brain is lazy, beautifully, predictably lazy. When we see one good trait, we assume the rest must be good too. That's the halo effect. Compliment someone's shoes, suddenly they think you're charming, smart, and trustworthy. It's not rational, it's neurological sleight of hand. This hack is why first impressions matter so much. One polished trait, a confident smile, a sharp outfit, a witty comment, becomes the lens through which everything else is viewed. It's a perceptual shortcut. People don't analyze, they extrapolate. Want to be seen as intelligent? Speak slowly and with certainty, even if you're winging it. Want to look competent? Start with something you're clearly good at. People will mentally fill in the rest. You don't have to prove you're a 10 across the board. Just ace the first stat check. It also works backwards. Screw up early and every move you make looks worse. Trip on your intro? Suddenly your valid points feel shaky. It's perception bias, and it's brutal. So pick your first impression wisely. Stack the front of your character sheet with visible strengths, because in real life, perception is reality, and one golden trait can buy you an entire reputation. Authority cosplay. Authority isn't always earned. Sometimes it's just performed. Enter authority cosplay, the art of looking like you belong in power, even if you skip the side quests that usually lead there. It's not about lying, it's about hacking perception. Humans are wired to trust confidence, titles, and appearances. Wear a lab coat and suddenly your guesses sound like science. Use technical jargon, people assume you're an expert. Talk with conviction, even when unsure. And you've equipped the certainty mod that overrides logic. Imposter syndrome is common. But here's the paradox. Most actual imposters don't have it. They project authority before they have the credentials. And the wild part? People rarely check for receipts. They just look for cues. Tone, posture, language. One study showed job applicants who acted confident scored higher than better qualified ones who didn't. Why? Because authority is a vibe. Fake it convincingly, and you often get treated like it's real, which loops back and makes it real. So no, you don't need permission to start. Just step into the role, adopt the posture, speak like you mean it, and most won't question your level. They'll just assume you've already leveled up.